cheap. Ooh. Doodle pip. Well, Misha sweetie, you're wrong. Took my fancy. Hello everyone and welcome back to another story time. Don't know why I get so excited about these, but can I just first off say I am so pleased that you guys liked the first story time. It's my Ibiza where I nearly died situation. I'll link it in case you haven't seen it. But yeah, the positivity and the love was so amazing. So I thought I'd bring back another story time, another one that is very close to my heart, and another one that is kind of funny but also really not funny in the slightest, and relevant to the fact we are now breaching into February, which is Valentine's Day. So I thought I would do a boy related story time. Now I literally never thought I would do this story time, and this was decided yesterday and I'm filming it today, so I feel this is very me, a brash decision that I just go with it. I've got my unicorn to keep me company. I have no clue where this is from. I think they sell them at like Costco and places like that. But anyway, so this is gonna be a story time of my ghosting experience. Now when this first happened, I didn't realise there was actually a term for it, and you can kind of argue that it's not necessarily ghosting, but it is. And I still can't really believe I'm filming this video. I never thought I'd film this video because I always thought it would affect me, but now I'm literally like, if you haven't seen Friends, you don't know what that means. I don't care. I literally don't care. And I'm filming this video because I want to share a story with you guys that hopefully you can learn from. Not even my mistakes, because I don't really think I did that much wrong. I just think it's one of those things that people do that you can't stop. So it's more like how you deal with it, because I didn't necessarily deal with it in the correct way originally. So yeah, and also if you're going through a similar thing, or you have been, just to know that you're not alone, and there are a lot of PRICKS's out there. Yes, I just spelled out pricks, because there are a lot of them. And they can be guys, they can be girls, they could be anyone. But let's take you back and let's begin my ghosting story. Now, if said person is watching this video, lols on you. I don't really care if you don't want me making this video, because you shouldn't treat someone like this, then they won't make a YouTube video about you. Yeah? Okay, let's begin. So, this is actually from over a year ago now. I'm not gonna go into like initials, time frames, all of that yada yada. We're literally just gonna call this person X. Also, there will be screenshots of conversations here, so it gets a bit juicy, so stay tuned. Ooh, ooh. Okay, I love how I'm really like buzzing now, and by the end I'm gonna be like, ooh. So, me and X first came about because he slid into my DMs. Now, wow, could you think of any more cringe? No, you couldn't, but what else are you supposed to do in this day and age? So I do get it. And it was because they had Snapchatted me, and I never go on Snapchat, and I didn't have them as Snapchat, so I had to like open my Snapchat so it was public, so that people that I weren't friends with could Snapchat me. But anyway, that's besides the point. I opened the Snapchat, and yeah, this person took my fancy from the get-go. Let's just say that. Oh my god, I literally want to cringe. I'm crying in my side, inside. And we were then speaking on Snapchat, are we 11, for maybe like a day or two. Then, you know, the typical like, oh, can I have your number? Here it is. Oh, now you're texting, blah blah blah. And it was very intense from the get-go. Like, I was swooped under my feet, is that the saying? I'm not sure. From the beginning. I don't even know why, because I'm so not that person, but it happened. That was a thing. We were talking constantly, and then they were saying that we are gonna go for a date. We are gonna meet up, because I didn't know this person beforehand. I'd literally never spoken to them in my life. And we were gonna meet up in London, and we were gonna go for a date. So that is exactly what we did. I got the train down. I remember literally being a bag of nerves because before this I had never been on a date before. Like, I'd never been on an actual proper date. I was only 18. Yeah, this was a year ago. I was 18. So yeah, it was a new experience for me. And they were older. They had slightly more money. It was more like they were trying to impress me, which they did, but it wasn't just because of their actions. It wasn't just because, oh, they took me for food here, or they did that, or they did that. It was more because of the things that they were saying. So we met up on this date and I'm literally like, but it was fine. Hi, hello, yes. We went around London, did activities, went for dinner, and on that date we literally spent like 6 or 8 hours together. Now I know that's not normal. Like, normally if you go on a date with someone you'd spend like an hour or two. We were literally together the whole entire day, and it was that sort of thing where you meet someone and you just click with them. You're like, okay, yep, fabulous. No awkward silences, none of that. Like, no deep chat. Like, I am that person that I love deep chat. I don't like any of this shallowness. I'm like, yes, I want to know your biggest fears in life. I want to know your biggest dreams, all that shebang. So it was very, very intense conversation. So then, this is where the screenshots start coming in. I only really even thought about doing this video or was reminded of how bad the situation actually was until the other night when me and Georgia were in Paris, and I was looking back at screenshots and showing them to her because for some reason I had them screenshotted. I must have sent them to like Chloe at the time, or I don't even know, but I have screenshots because I no longer have our text conversation, which really annoys me because I wish I could go back and laugh, but I have bits. So this is after I then left. I went back home, I got the train home, and me and X had now departed. And they messaged me saying, I can't see the top bit because I didn't screenshot that, but I can't thank you enough for coming and just honestly being you. I think you're awesome. Get home safe. Then I replied saying, oh, stop it, you. This is so cringe reading out my own conversations. I actually cannot. I can't believe I'm doing this on YouTube. Oh, stop it, you. You're a right little superstar, and thanks for making it a first date to remember. And then I made a little joke. I had to wait a little to reply and make you worry. See you in 6 months. Because I'm assuming we had some sort of joke where we weren't ever gonna like see each other again. So this is where I didn't realise this was actually ever said, and I actually can't believe that this was ever said. So it was, shut up, I can't believe you. You're literally everything I wanted you to be and more. You're unbelievably beautiful and I couldn't get enough of my time with you. I'm never gonna say above again either, so don't bully me. Yeah, see you after our birthdays. Now, looking back on the situation, I now understand why I felt the way that I did. So after this message, we again spoke constantly. Within the space of a month, we met up 4 times, so literally like once a week consecutively in London. Then I went to his house, and then obviously we need to get to the ghosting bit. So literally the most intense month of my life. I was falling head over heels for this person, and I'm hardly surprised I was when I was getting texts like that, because I don't know, I think I was always that person that just wanted to believe what people told me, and that he gave me no reason to question what he was saying. He seemed like such a decent guy, he seemed like the perfect sort of person to spend my time with, and yeah. The last time I actually saw said person, I think in the back of my mind I was thinking, they seem off, they seem a bit weird, but I didn't like let myself believe that because I was so blinded by the situation. I was like, no, it's fine. It was literally like so many promises of things we were gonna do, like go to Disneyland for my birthday and go on a cruise and do this and do that, and I hand on heart believed them. Like, I believed all of it. So yeah, after that date, I went home, and again, I'm being all gushy, like I think they're perfect, blah, 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 blah. And then, yeah, the messages from then had really slowed down. But again, I just wasn't letting myself think about it, you know, you're just like, no, it's fine, just being over paranoid, blah, 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 blah. Then I remember I was away in Scotland for Chloe's birthday, and I think I turned to mum and I was like, X is being really weird. They're just not being themselves, and I don't really know what to do. So then we decided, like, you know, bite the bullet, just message them and say, yo, are you okay? What's going on? Just be a bit more upfront, because like I'm a very blunt person, but when it comes to guys, I do not let them know how I feel. Like, I have always been that person. I am quite cold. Great, love that for me. So I was like, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I don't remember the message that I sent them, but I basically said some along the lines of, are you okay? Like, what's going on? You seem really off. Is there any reason for this? Blah, 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 blah. Because I'm on the understanding that if someone doesn't like you and someone doesn't want to talk to you, then just be upfront with them. Don't we just love her hair? Oh, thanks, mum. Anyway, go away. You're going to put me off my story time.
Oh, it's such a cute story, isn't it?
Cute story? I'm not sure that's the one.
The first and the last ghosting that will ever happen in the Grimes household.
I was quite upfront for me. I was like, what's going on? Blah, 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 blah. And they reassured me that it was nothing. That they were absolutely fine. There was nothing going on. They weren't being weird. They're just busy. Which I understand. People get busy. But also, you make time for people if you want to speak to them. So it had gone from this relationship progressing so quickly and being so incredibly intense to like none of that. So obviously, as a girl in that month, I emotionally invested, and then suddenly it was like, what's going on? You're being really bizarre. Have I done anything? Have you changed your mind? Blah, 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 blah. So that was reassurance in the beginning of November. Now, from that point, we spoke, but it wasn't the same. It was not the same at all. He went from messaging me like 20 times a day to like twice a day to like every 2 days, and I'm not that person to be like, oh, if they're not replying to me, I'm gonna message them again. With friends, I will literally send you 25 messages in a row if you don't reply. I don't care. But with guys, I just seem to play it completely differently, and I don't know if that is a good thing. I feel like I probably do come across too cold to guys, but you know, that's my own problem. I would rather that than be too keen in my mind, because that's always my biggest fear, coming across too keen. So yeah, then we'd spoken about them coming down to see me, but they weren't then getting back to me, and then they were leaving it all last minute, and then they were making up like shoddy excuses. And then the time came for the final message from them. Now, this was on like 2 days after we'd last messaged, and it was at 6:30, and it was, hey, just so you know, I refuse to be the guy who is a total dick and hurts someone, so I'm just gonna let you know I'm not ignoring you or not trying to avoid you. I'm incredibly busy and have so much going on, which is hard to deal with all at once. I've got to be in America shoot in a few weeks, which I had no idea about, and everything is hard. I'm just taking my time to think about things, because the last thing I want to do is upset or hurt you. I think you're awesome, and I definitely want us to be in each other's lives because I think we're identical. So that's not really the message you expect to get from someone that's like, oh, I want to be in each other's lives, but I haven't really been messaging you very much recently, and like that wasn't like a, I don't really want to speak to you anymore. That wasn't a, I don't like you anymore. That was like a, please hang around. That's how I take it, a please hang around. So my response was, hey, okay, yeah, that was needed to be said. You quite obviously have a lot on your plate, which is understandable, but you know you could have played this better. Go, Misha. It's just wrong time, wrong place, really, isn't it? You know I like you, which I can't believe I actually said, so that's quite good for me because I am not that person. But I'm not one to hang around waiting for people to make up their mind. So it's all on you, really. Trust me when I say I never saw this as a get yourself a boyfriend in a month sort of thing. It's not as if we were blooming getting married or being boyfriend and girlfriend. We are both incredibly busy people, but if you want to make the time for it, you will. That's really all I gotta say. So yeah, I would like you in my life in some way, but the ex I met originally, not the ex I've had lately. And that was the last text message conversation I have had with said person. They never replied to that message. They did Snapchat me like 3 days later and then never replied to my response. So yeah, that is my ghosting line of what happened. But I was literally not heartbroken, but I mean I probably was a little bit heartbroken. I was affected by it and hoping that everything was going to be okay, that they were going to just pop back out of the blue and we were going to like work things out, and I don't even know, for a good year. So yeah, that was all within the space of 6 weeks. We met, we went on dates, we were like, oh my god, we're perfect for each other. We went on more dates, I went to his house. I was told literally everything about his life. We were going to go to Paris, we were going to go to cruises, and then I want you in my life somehow. Well, considering you never messaged me after that, I don't think that happened. And I don't think just sending a message saying I don't want to hurt you makes you not hurt me. Like, it's like saying I didn't mean it, but I did. Or don't take offence. It's the same sort of thing. But I actually wish they'd have just messaged me and been like, hey, so I'm not really into this anymore. I'm busy, I hope you're okay, but I think we should leave it how it is. It's been fun, but that's all I could ever see it becoming. I would much rather someone message me that than with that message, it left me hanging on by a thread. I'm hardly surprised I had those thoughts because I got messages about how I'm the perfect one, this and that, and blah blah blah. I'm hardly surprised I believed this own fantasy. I honestly. A month later, they actually got a girlfriend, who they met like 2 days after we stopped talking. But that, for some reason, in my mind, didn't make me think like, oh, we're never gonna work out. For some reason, I still had in my head, because I had no closure. Theoretically, that should have been my closure, but it just wasn't, because there was still so many questions. Like, still to this day, I have so many questions. But, I mean, they're never gonna get answered. That's the whole idea of ghosting. One day they're there, the next day they're not. And it's probably the most brutal way to end something with someone. I know they weren't my boyfriend, I know we weren't madly in love with each other, but there was still something. And if you bond on such like a deep level with someone, you think you're at least owed an explanation rather than I'm busy. I'm not ignoring you, but I'm just busy and can't be bothered to make the time for you, but I still want you in my life. Like, how contradictory is that? So yeah, I wish it didn't affect, actually no, I'd say I wish it didn't affect me in the way that it did, but actually I'm so grateful that I had this experience, because I learned a blooming lot about relationships, males, and dating, and everything in between. But I, growing up, had always said I'm not going to be the girl that goes for an F-boy, and I still don't think they were an F-boy. I still do not believe that, but obviously there's F-boy circumstances around it. I always said I'm not going to be the girl to get hurt. I'm not going to be the girl to get hurt by a boy. That's just not me. Well, Misha, sweetie, you're wrong, and you're probably going to get your heart broke a lot more times in your life, so buckle up. Because I just always thought I'm such a strong person, blah, 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 which I am. But if you let someone in, it's very hard when they then go bye-bye for you to be like, oh, okay, I just let you into my life, I just told you so much about me, and now you're just like, okay, sayonara. Bit muggy, and by bit I mean very muggy. So I think in the end I was just like mentally twisting everything in my own mind of how they supposedly felt, because I didn't have any answers to any of my questions, because I wasn't going to go and message them a massive essay like, can I ask you blah 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 and blah. It probably didn't help that mum knew everything that was going on, and she on the surface really liked the idea of this guy. So then I'm very much that person that if people around me are bigging up this person, I believe them. I'm like, oh my god, yeah, they're amazing, yeah, they're amazing, yeah, they're amazing, because other people are saying they're amazing. So I think that kind of made me go like that even more, because it was a little bit like running and then falling flat on your face. But no, I don't regret it, because I've learned so much. But then I also think it's probably changed me a lot as a person. Like, I always thought that I would never have emotional baggage. I never really got why people had emotional baggage, and now I get it. From that, I do not believe anything anyone says, which is kind of sad, but I do think in this day and age you have to take what people say, you have to take with a pinch of salt, because I never went to Disneyland with them, I never went on a cruise, and although they might have had the right intentions, I don't like people that overpromise and underdeliver. But when you're in that situation, you ignore the red flags. Like, everyone does that. Even when you're in a relationship, you think back and you're like, god, that was such a red flag, why didn't I listen to myself? So if you learn anything from this, please listen to your brain, please listen to your inner red flags. I should have, from that last time that I saw him and I thought that he was being a bit odd, I should have mentally prepared myself and taken a step back myself. Now, I didn't, so I was still full steam ahead and ignored that, and now I'm kind of learning my lesson. It's horrendous that we actually have to learn these lessons in this day and age. Like, it's really not that difficult to be a man about it and message someone and be like, yeah, no, not feeling it. Like, it's really not that hard. And it may seem like a harsh move, so if you are in this situation right now and you are kind of seeing someone or with someone and you're kind of going off them, blah, 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 it's much nicer to cut things off and actually cut them off than just sort of feed them a bit of information and disappear, because there will always be questions. I wish I could sit down with them. Actually, I don't know. I think I'd like to understand what was going through their mind, but I also feel like it'd be a waste of breath, because I don't really care anymore. I wouldn't be making this video if I did care anymore, because I would feel a bit too emotional about it, but I really don't care anymore. They are like, bye-bye, this ship has sailed, this cruise ship, and you're not on it. Toodle pip. I now know what I want. Oh, no, not necessarily what I want. I know what I don't want. I'm still not sure what I want, but I definitely got a higher wall than I ever had before for guys. Like, I don't think I will let anyone in unless they literally, but that's the thing, like, it's so horrendous that how somebody else has treated you, you then think everybody else is going to treat you that way. But I suppose that's how we all are, that's human nature, that's just what we're like. So people out there watching this, if you've been through a similar thing like this, then I feel you, and I think we should make ghosting illegal, because it's pathetic, cowardly, and doesn't solve anything, because one person ends up being heartbroken even if you say that you don't want to break their heart. How'd that work out for you, ex? How did that work out for you, ex? Definitely not still in each other's lives, definitely not identical, because I wouldn't have treated someone like this. And yeah, I'm gonna stop ranting though. But yeah, if you're going through a similar situation like this, then I feel ya. Come and drop me a DM, we can have a little chit chat, you know, girl power and all that. And if you're currently doing this to somebody else, please just be the better person, however hard it would be, and like actually cut it off with an explanation, because that's just the nicer thing to do, even if it doesn't feel like it at the time. But yeah, this is a very, very bizarre one to do a story time about. It's very deep, and I really do feel like I'm fully like putting my life on the internet, but I just hope that other people learn from what I went through, and Now I'm thinking like, why was I so upset at the time? But at the time I was not great at all. So yeah. But then I look back over the year that I had when I still wasn't feeling great about the situation, and I'm like, I still achieved so much, even though I was a little bit down in the dumps because some stupid boy had not broken my heart. Maybe, I don't know. I think I just liked the idea of it, and I thought I liked the person they were, but then they've proven themselves to be a different person. And in terms of my closure, me, it was never like, oh, I don't feel great, I'm just gonna go and meet some random guy and maybe sleep with them and hope that makes me feel better, because personally that's not the way in which I work. If that is you, then you do that. But I knew that that would just make me feel even worse. So I think an actual emotional connection with somebody else pushes that previous connection out. I wouldn't have been able to be with anybody else because I would have just compared everything about that new person to the old person. Even though the old ex guy was not perfect, I still had this rose-tinted view of what they were like. But now I realise they are a knob, and they will forever be a knob, and there's no recovering from that. So yeah, time. Don't look for somebody else, but be open to somebody else emotionally changing things up. Is that the word? And yeah, just know it's all a learning curve, and we've got to go through some shiz in life so that we can be stronger. So yes, I'm going to shut up now because I've nattered on for about 10,000 hours. Don't even know if I've made any sense or I've achieved what I wanted to achieve. But I think this whole storyline of this is, if you've been ghosted, you're not the only one. If you're being a ghoster, you're a coward. Man the hell up, or woman the hell up. And time is the biggest healer. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. And also, you can still be happy and move on with your life. You won't be heartbroken over it forever. I can promise you that, because I'm well and truly over it. So I'm gonna love you guys and leave you. I hope you have enjoyed this story time. It's been a little bit more but anyway, don't know what that action was. I'm gonna love you and leave you. I've already said that. Give this video a like and subscribe. Let me know what other sort of like topics we'd like me to discuss in story times, and I'll try and see if I have a story time for that topic. I feel like I probably have some other boy story times. There was a time where I was someone's side chick, so I feel like that might be an interesting story time. But anyway, okay, love you guys lots. Bye bye. And boys suck. Bye.